Let's crap on the multiverse theory some more, shall we? This is Disorganized Religion. I'm Reverend Cal, and I'm back to bend Isaac Newton over a barrel and lose my watch in his bum. Very colorful, yeah? The multiverse, it's become very popular these days. And by the way, if you haven't heard the first half of this, probably should listen to it first, because it'll make more sense. But the multiverse theory, it's becoming popular, perhaps because Disney figured out a way to squeeze more revenue from a comic book franchise. But also because we find ourselves needing to explain the impossible. We aren't talking in theories anymore, folks, because these impossible things are becoming to creep into reality. The best example I have is quantum computer. These have been in the news a lot lately. You may have heard a few things without boring you with a lot of technical crap I don't even fully understand. I'll give you a quick tour how it works. A regular computer speaks in binary, which means it speaks in zeros and ones. So as complex as your computer is, when you break it down, it's nothing more than trillions of ones and zeros in the right order. So you think of a computer like an on-off switch, or a series of on-off switches. Well, a quantum computer, it works similarly, but instead of a switch, it's like a dimmer. So a qubit, which is kind of like a bit, but for a quantum computer, a qubit can be either a 1 or a 0 or anything in between. The weird part is it can be all of them at once. This is one of the weird rules in quantum physics, but things can be in more than one place at once. Nothing is actually in a place until you force it to be. It's all possibilities at once. This is a phenomenon we've known for quite some time, but now, like I said, we can use this to do impossible things. They've already proven this. A quantum computer can do a problem that a regular computer couldn't finish in a trillion years. The type of problem that it can do is a problem that's easy to do backwards. For example, if I was to give you a list of 100 numbers, anybody who's taken statistics could easily calculate the mean and the standard deviation of that list. It's not a problem, but what if I was to give you the mean and standard deviation and asked you for the list of numbers? That would be difficult. It would border on impossible to do backwards. It's the type of problem that a quantum computer could do. It's kind of like finding prime numbers. So that type of problem, if you wanted to do it with a regular computer, you would need to try all possible options one at a time until you finally guessed the right answer. This takes time, and with more options, it takes more time. And if that list gets large enough, it'll never be enough time. But if you had a quantum computer, you can simply try all of those possibilities at the same time. Your computer, you program the computer so that every variable is in superposition, they say. That means that it's, instead of being a 1 or a 0, it's in every possibility at once. Now, it won't exactly spit out the right answer in the first try. In fact, they're going to have to run this program over and over and over, like thousands of times. So this is where the magic happens. Something starts to change in the program. So out of all the possibilities that you program into it, the right answer, it starts to jump out. The program, it starts to reprogram itself. So the correct answer appears more often. So it tells you what the answer is. It sounds like fiction, but it already happened. Quantum computers have already done the impossible, and now we're just left to explain what just happened. So this is where the multiverse comes in. The standard explanation, or the popular way of explaining what's happening, is by putting this qubit into superposition, you have tapped into the multiverse. So every possibility we program, it creates a brand new different universe, and in one of those universes, the answer becomes right. So they believe that one of the universes talks to the universe and you can hear it. It's just lazy, if you ask me. So if we aren't going through multiple universes, what is happening here? How do we think the computer knows the answer? I already gave you a hint. It can solve a problem that's very easy to solve backwards. And that's exactly what it's doing. The qubit is really able to be everything at once. You're just going to have to accept that. If that's the case, what is causing the program to reprogram itself, the answer is the answer. The computer is actually running itself backwards in time. And remember, I mentioned that time moves more slowly the faster you move. If you move fast enough, time actually stops. So if you're going the speed of light, no time will pass until you slow down. We've known this for a while, but how does that extend to something that always moves the speed of light, like light? Time never moves for light since it doesn't slow down. Light itself doesn't experience time. It exists all at once across time. We only see it moving because we see a little bit at once. We can only experience one slice of that light at a time. Since the light doesn't know time, this explains the spooky action at a distance. Those particles that are miles away, they aren't communicating. They both knew the future. It was written ahead of time, and it always is. This is how a quantum computer knew the answer, because in the quantum rules, the question and the answer occur at the same time. So a quantum computer can do the impossible, but they haven't yet found a way for it to be useful. These problems we're feeding it are just exercise. They don't serve any purpose. They're predicting these computers will destroy cryptography because that's a type of security which is based on prime numbers, which are easy to solve backwards. I'm not sure how much more useful these things will get, but what they're doing is exposing reality. That's what's important to me. They're telling us how the universe is put together, if you're looking the right way. I want to go a step deeper if you're prepared. Pause and come back if your head's spinning now. But, okay, so light, or more generally, I'll call it energy, doesn't experience time. We experience time because we're made of matter. Do you think that's all you're made of, though? Are you just a few chemical reactions more complex than a rock? But I think most people will agree we are more. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. Yoda was right. Who knew? We are beings of both matter and energy. Thus, we are part of this impossible world I'm describing. We see tiny evidence of it. Things like remote viewing or telepathy. We don't understand that, but we adjust our understanding to fit the evidence. We just call it paranormal. We don't have to change anything else. It's paranormal and it's different. But it's not paranormal. We just don't understand it. Now, one question, do you think God is different? Think about every depiction you've heard of God or a creator. He exists in a different realm. He knows every one of us intimately, and he knows everything, from the alpha to the omega, from the beginning to the end. Doesn't that sound like it's describing a being made of pure energy? The multiverse is just the atheist's way of explaining the miracles. The physics of the universe, it was perfect. If gravity wasn't exactly this strong, if things didn't fall exactly into the right place, the universe wouldn't exist. But we aren't just a lucky universe. Einstein was right. God doesn't cast dice. It's perfect because it was all written at once. I guess that means it was written that you would find this sermon. I hope it's written that you would come back more, because I have lots more where that came from. But hope fate brings us together again. Remember, we are all connected more than any of us understands, so try to be more understanding until all of this makes more sense. Thanks.